Hey guys, it's EliGE here, and today I'm going to be doing a video that a lot of people have requested, which is all going to be about spray control. Over the years, I have really mastered spraying in CSGO, and I think it's one of the more defining traits of my gameplay. So I'm going to be showing you the things that I've done year after year to start improving my spray, and maybe by the end of this, you can start doing the same things that I do so you can get a spray like me. So to start off, I'm going to be going over a couple different maps and the techniques that I do. And some of them a lot of people have heard of already. And the first one that I'll just be talking about is Recoil Master. And it's a workshop map that you can just really hone in on your recoil and get percentages of how you're going to be doing that. I'm going to be talking about spraying in DM, where I think that it's probably the best way to practice your spray transfers and just spraying at moving targets. Some of the things that I think that people do that is not that good is they go into aimbots, or like they go into one of the maps that have a bunch of bots in them and they're just spraying at them and trying to like spray transfer. And while I think it's good, I don't really think it's the best way to do it. So I kind of prefer to just spray in DM. And when you're DMing, I think that you should really be trying not to one tap or just playing just to play in the DMs. You should be focusing specifically on spraying, and that's what I do. And I don't mind if I'm just like kind of looking bad and I'm getting kills that I think that I shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to focus on something specific, which is my spray, and I think that's what you have to do. I think that something that is really good, which is what I did in the beginning, and that's spraying at the wall and just trying to get as many like really close together as possible. And I think that's good, but I think that Recoil Master just does better. So I think you should just use that. All right, so let's get right into how I think that we should be playing Recoil Master. So when you first open up Recoil Master, this is what you're gonna see. And this is how I usually set it up. I turn on no spread just to have less inconsistencies with the spray pattern. T target, so it gives us accuracy measurements. Put it back to, or you can do 3, whichever you like. Then reset, or movement lock first and then reset. We're starting at 0% right here, 0, 0. And then right here is going to be the headshot percentage, which we'll look at for our goals. And we're mainly going to be looking here and over here for the percentages. I like to kind of section it off by looking at body shots, headshots with the different guns. And I'm going to have the exact goals that you should be doing for these. And, you know, with the AK, it's going to be a little bit more inaccurate than it is the M4. So you're going to have a worse spray with the AK just because of how much more inaccurate it is as a weapon itself. So as I'm spraying with the AK, you still should be able to get a pretty high percentage if you're just going for the body. And I think that your goal should be around 95% at around like 15 to 20 sprays. And I'll just be going to around that level in this video. Even if you have no spread too, you're gonna be seeing some bullets just kind of like fly around everywhere, and that's completely normal. So there's gonna be some margin of error. And if you wanted to ever make it harder, you can always press the plus sign again to push the T back. So my goal for the AK body is around 95%, and that's what you're gonna be trying to aim for as you're gonna be doing these, and whichever goal that I have for it. And every time that you're gonna be swapping from, you know, to the body to the head, I just like to do a quick reset and just try to get a good measurement. And if you look at the middle, there's going to be numbers that are there. It says like H colon, and that's going to be your percentages for how many is going into the head. And I think with the AK, you should be going for like a goal of like 50 to 60%. I think that's a reasonable goal. It's going to be very hard. Like, you might get like 1 or 2 good sprays that's going to up that percentage, but I think over the long run, it's going to be very hard to get a really high percentage. Right here, as it shows, for only going for the head. So maybe we'll put the goal for around 55% instead of 50. So on the left side of Recoil Master, if you just turn, just click on the M4, press reset again. And the M4 is going to be a way easier spray. You should be able to get pretty much close to 100% with the M4. The goal is around 98%, which is pretty reasonable if you have a really good spray. And I would recommend pressing the plus sign and pushing it back a little bit, because I think that the M4A4 spray is just so easy that you need to just make it a little bit more difficult. And you don't have to be super strict when you're doing these sprays and just only go exactly for the body. I was just kind of demonstrating it for the video, But when I'm actually playing it myself, I kind of just try to get as much in the head and the body that I can, where I'm getting around like 8 to 10 shots in the head and then the rest in the body. I don't usually try to be like as strict as what I'm doing here. This is just an example of how you can be doing this if you want to be really particular about it. I think as you can see, getting close to 100, 98%, 99% even is very possible. And same thing for when you're shooting at the head with the M4, it's going to be a lot easier than it is with the AK because of how tight the spray pattern is. So you're going to be going for around 60% as a goal for how many shots should be getting in the head. And there's really no time limit on how long you should be doing this for. It kind of just depends on like how long you want to be putting into it. If you want to use it as a warm-up, if you think your spray is just bad. Sometimes I go into recoil master myself if I feel like I've been messing up my spray recently. It's a map that I recommend to a lot of people, even pros, where if their spray is not just completely perfect, I think that you can always be working on it. And this is something that I used even when the Krieg and the AUG got really good. The Krieg and the AUG, I noticed pretty much in the beginning that you're going to need to really work on that spray pattern because it's just like any other gun. It's just with the M4 and A4, or it's just with the M4 and AK that people are so used to the spray that they think they can just go right into the AUG and the Krieg, and they couldn't do that. So I actually started off at that time period using recoil master for maybe an hour or two a day, maybe like an hour with the Krieg, hour with the AUG. And I'm not even kidding. That is how much that you have to be able to do, working on the sprays to get better at it. I got actually really close to my goal on this one for the M4 headshot. So I think that looks pretty good. So the next biggest part of sprays, besides just perfecting your spray, is spray transfers. And I've already kind of talked a little bit about how I think that just shooting at stationary targets and, aimbots or the CSGO hub prac map isn't the best way to do it. And I think the best way is really to just go right into a DM and just shoot at people that are going right back at you and see like how they're moving and trying to adjust your spray. And while you're DMing, I think that you need to really focus on not caring if you're gonna die in kind of like a dumb way, or like missing out on a kill that you otherwise should have gotten if you're tapping or bursting. And of course, you don't have to just like miss every single kill while you're spraying. You should be really focusing on making the most spray transfers happen as much as you can. And as you watch me DM here, I think that you can kind of see that's what I'm going for, where I'm trying to just do as many spray transfers as possible, getting as many reps in as I can. And I think that you could just be doing this and getting a really good result from it. If you take into account all of these tips and you work on these and you do recoil master and you're spraying in DMs, I think that you're going to see a really significant difference in your spray, even within 1 to 2 weeks. I think that it's something that if you're putting in the time to it and you're doing it right, you're going to see a big change. And spraying is one of like the most important aspects of Counter-Strike. It happens all the time. Most of the times you're not going to be going for cool one taps or going for the highlight clips. You're going to have to get these really standard kills, and those come from just having really strong sprays. So I really recommend that everyone tries to do this as much as possible, and I hope that you guys like this video. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm just going to leave you guys looking at some cool spray DM clips. Thank you guys for watching.